This Elden Ring Beginner's Guide completely breaks the game, makes the game super easy mode by giving you access and knowledge to the most powerful early game items, summons, gear combinations, talismans, and routes to take to become super powerful so that you will be so overleveled and so overgeared that all of the bosses and the areas in your wake will be easily beaten with minimal effort. Let's get right into it. The very first thing that you're going to do in Elden Ring, as soon as you get out of the tutorial zone and you get into the open world, is you're going to travel north to the Church of Ele, which is that church building right in front of us here, and get the grace. Then you will continue north and get the gatefront grace. You will rest at this grace, which will allow you to get your mount so that you can summon them, just like this. From there, you're going to return to the Church of Ele, and that's going to get you your Spirit Calling Bell and a 3 Wolves Summon. If you need further elaboration on how this works, I have a link in the description, and I will have several links in the description of this video that will explain and show you in full detail how to do these steps. So, if you have trouble with this step, look in the description and look for the video called How to Quickly Get Your Mount and Spirit Calling Bell in Elden Ring. I will have more links in the description for every single step of this guide in case you are confused and need to see a live example or a longer form explanation of each step. With that said, let's go to the next part. Afterwards, you will return to the gate front, pick up the map right here, and then we're going to get the flail and the whetstone. This is where the flail is, and right down here is the whetstone. Here's what the video looks like, link in the description if you need further elaboration and detail. Next up, you're going to travel along the road here, just like this, just along this road. Take the left fork on the dirt road going up this way, all the way up here, and you're going to run into a church called the Church of Marika. There will be a grace here and the Flask of Wondrous Physic. You're going to pick that up, and then you're going to head right up top here to this little marker, and you're going to take a warp to K-Lid, which is an in-game zone. Here is the video link for details on that one if you need further elaboration. For reference, this is where the warp gate is, located right here on the map. Here is the third Church of Marika, northeast. Take this warp gate to K-Lid. As soon as you warp in, turn around and open a door and get to that grace, and we're going to be doing a little bit of parkour action to get ourselves our first talisman, which is the Dragon Shield Talisman, alright? Well, I guess you don't have to turn around. Normally the camera faces towards this gargoyle monster, also red eyes. So, what you want to do now, make sure you get this grace because you will die a lot, especially if you're a new player, because the next part requires heavy parkour action that you're going to need to do. If you need help with the parkouring section, refer to the first part of this video, how to take 3 times less damage in Elden Ring. This will show you how to get the talisman and show you without any cuts or edits on how easy or hard it may be to get. Next up, we have more grace collection to get. You're going to follow this road here. There is a grace around here. Come around the side here. Go down this road here. There is a grace and a memory stone to get here. Follow along the road. More graces to get in a cave. Another grace to get along the roads. And then you're just going to kind of go towards right here and get this grace. And I have a video that will elaborate this further as well. If this step confuses you, please reference this video here on exactly what to do, where to go, and how to do it if you're having difficulty. Once you reach the Fort Ferrith Grace, you will be presented with this big building, and inside of it there is a Radagon Source Seal, which will increase your base stats, allowing you to equip that flail, but there is also a level 10 golden rune that you can grab and consume to give you some early levels so that any class you choose will be able to wield the flail, which will allow you to grind out on this large dragon behind me. For further details on how to grind this dragon, please refer to this video here, How a New Character Can Slay a Dragon the Lazy Way in Elden Ring. This will teach you how to grind runes incredibly fast so that you can power level at the very start of the game and have a huge level and stat advantage over everything the early game throws at you. If you don't want to do too much grinding, I recommend having at least 12 Strength, 18 Dexterity, 12 Faith, and 12 Arcane. Once you have done this, go to the round table and we're going to do some shopping. Once you're at the round table, we're going to buy the following items. We're going to talk to this blind guy here, exhaust his dialogue, say that we do see it because he won't sell us items if we don't, and we're going to buy Magic Fortification, Catch Flame, And that's pretty much all you need. If you start as a prophet, you already will have Catch Flame, and so there's no reason to buy it. From here, run past the blind guy, and we're going to now go to the Twin Husks and buy some items. Twin Maiden Husks, we're going to go to purchase. And from here, you can buy the Memory Stone. Go ahead, well, I already have max Memory Stones because this is New Game Plus. Buy the Stone Sword Keys, buy all of them out. Very good. Buy 1 dagger, alright. Buy 1 finger seal. If you are a prophet, you will already have this. Then buy out the entire Knight's set. This is a great starting armor that it balances weight and defense very, very well. When combined with your Talisman that you hopefully got earlier, you will be very, very defensive at the start of the game. Alright? With all of that purchased, it's time to go to our next spot. For reference, this is what your inventory should look like. You'll have the flail, the flail, the finger seal, the Knight set, and the Dragon Crest Shield Talisman, which gives us around 32% physical damage negation. You also want your Flask of Tears, your Cerulean Tears, and your Lone Wolf Ashes. On your quick casts, you want your Mount and your Flask of Physic. Next up, in order to make things much easier, you really should pump Vigor. I don't recommend more than 40 right now, but this will only take you a few minutes of grinding that dragon earlier to get to level 45, alright? So we have the stats to wear our equipment, and we have enough Vigor now to survive multiple hits with a large amount of physical damage reduction. This makes us pretty much unkillable from regular trash mobs unless you are very, very bad. Alright, so now you're going to go back to Gatefront, and you're going to travel... Whoops, I did not mean to actually travel to Gatefront. Alright, so I'm just gonna... No. Okay, so from Gatefront, you're going to run along this little road here, and then we're going to go to Stormhill Shack. Then, once you get the Stormhill Shack Grace, there is a body right up here on these little rafters. You're going to jump up here, okay, and we're going to collect the Stone Sword Key. Alright, that's pretty important. From here, we're going to travel east to about right here and grab another Grace. I'm going to go ahead and take you there now. I do not have a video on my channel that references how to do this, so I'm going to show you manually how to do it, alright? You can feel free to fast forward, use the right arrow key on your keyboard if you want to skip forward until I get to the Grace. But once you see this cliffside here, you want to be to the left of that. And you'll see a Grace up ahead. Do not come here at night. If you come here at night, there is a bell-bearing hunter that will attack you, so we're going to go ahead and grab this Grace. Now, while you're here, you're going to make one simple purchase, and that is the no skill ability from this guy here. Now, if you don't care about NPCs or quests, you can kill this guy for a very gnarly set of armor, but I don't advise it. So, once you have the menu open, go ahead and buy Ash of War No Skill. You're going to use this later on your great shields that you find along your way. Alright, with that said, we're going to collect some more Graces. We're going to teleport right back to Stormhill Shack. We're going to loop up this way. We're going to grab Wild Strikes, and then we're going to loop around here and grab another Grace for Margit for later. And I do have a video that references this one. This skill is very easy to get. It's called Wild Strikes. And again, this is the video that references it. And again, right here, once you go around this loop, there's just a little scarab that you beat up and you get Wild Strikes. Very, very simple, very useful. This is a must-have. Now, for those unaware of how to apply Wild Strikes, you go to Ashes of War, and I will remind you, on this play session, I have everything unlocked for recording reasons, but you won't, okay? You go to Ashes of War, you click on your flail, which is equipped, and then you find Wild Strikes, which is right here. You're only going to have one copy of this. Ignore everything else on the screen. This is for YouTube purposes only, okay? So we're going to click Wild Strikes, and then apply Standard. Do not apply any of these other things. You won't even have them anyway at this point of the game. So you're going to apply Standard, and what this does, this changes your attack into this, allowing you to freely swing around and move as you attack. This is an incredibly wide attacking item. The flail has a very large hitbox when using Wild Strikes, and the DPS is extraordinary. If you want to be able to Wild Strikes for longer, you're going to need more stamina and more mind, which, if you want, you can actually level up at this time, and all you have to do is grind that dragon. If you don't, you don't have to. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. So you don't want to go beyond 21 mind. And for endurance, I'm just going to pump that up to 20 for now. And what that will do is it makes a huge difference in your Wild Strikes potential as well as everything else. So at this point, I am now level 66, which again, it does not take that much time at all to grind on that dragon, and you are absolutely very powerful for the next step, because the next step involves killing an NPC invader. Now, in these next steps, you're going to return to the third church of Marika. You're going to proceed north. There are Spirit Spring jumps to jump up these mountains, which will put you right about here on the map. You're going to continue north and go to a church right up here to get a grace. This is where you will be invaded, alright? But with your flail, your armor, your damage reduction, and wild strikes, all you have to do is hold the wild strikes button and walk towards the invader, and they will die in a few hits. From there, you're going to travel this way and get the grace. Then you're going to go hard south, come down here, and get a skill called Flame of the Redmanes along with the grace, and then you're going to come down here, all the way down here, and get a skill called Flame Grant Me Strength. Now, instead of showing you how to do this in the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm just going to link to you videos of how to do it in great detail. It's very simple to do. So here is the video on how to get Flame of the Redmanes. Alright, this is a skill that does 40 poise damage to monsters, allowing you to stunlock giant dragons. This is absolutely mandatory for something we do in just a little while. So this is absolutely something that you do want to get, alright? And then the next one is Flame Grant Me Strength. This is a 20% damage buff, which dramatically speeds up your boss killing time, and it's right near Flame of the Redmanes. Again, these videos will go into extravagant detail on how to get these items, alright, so that I don't have to waste your time in this guide if you are a veteran player and already know what you're doing. I know this video has a lot of links to other guides, but if you're wondering how long it takes to complete this guide fully, to be a very high level and make the game an absolute breeze, here is a self-recording where I show in a complete uncut version. This is a rough draft and does not include everything this video does, but this video was 4 hours and 42 minutes long, and there's a little bit of goofing off on there. A lot of it is grinding the dragon in a less efficient way than what I'm showing in this video, but essentially that's about how long you can expect to take to become super massively overpowered. But also at the same time, I also, just to test and see if I was heavily distracted and goofing off, how long it would take in order to do a more updated version of the guide. And this is a live stream VOD where I play for 7 hours and 15 minutes. Now, I will admit, by the 6-hour mark, I was complete with the guide. I just wanted to show off the power and how easy even the really hard optional bosses are, how easy you can make them with this build for that last hour and 15 minutes of this stream. So go ahead and check that out. Links will be in the description, or just click my channel and dig around, and you can find that, just so you know that this guide is absolutely worth following. Now, with that said, you're going to go back up to this grace up top, follow along the road, and there will be a grace right around here. You're going to go east and cross a chasm to get a grace later for the golden scarab, and then you're going to continue down, grab the grace that's around. There's a grace around here, a grace around here. Alright, there is a grace around here. This is the dragon compendium little area where you buy and sell dragon things. And, well, there is no selling. And then you go all the way down here when you want to do Radon later on and grab that grace. This is just pure grace collection, nothing more than that. So the next step is to get the green turtle talisman. Check out this video for extreme full instructional detail on how to do that, but I'm going to sum it up for you. You're going to go back to the third church of Marika, or you can start here at the top of this church. But either way, you're going to go up these little spirit spring jumps until you're on this road. From this road, you're going to follow it this way, so you get about here, and there is a grace right here. Once you grab the grace, you're going to run about right here. Use one of those stone sword thingies that you got from the round table earlier, that you bought and that you got from that one shack, and that will open up a little misty doorway. No fight required, just a treasure box with the green turtle talisman. This is used later in combination with a great shield to give you immense amounts of stamina regeneration, even useful for non-shield users. And real quick, because this video is not sponsored, it does not shill a product, I do not get any money from any third-party vendors or anything. I'm not trying to sell you a VPN or some stupid shaving equipment or balding medicine. If you want to become a channel member, it's $5 a month. It's like being a Twitch subscriber. It really helps me out. And you get access to more private, more personal, more instantaneous videos. For 2 to 3 weeks now, members, which there were only 13 of, have had access to this guide in a more dumbed down map version. This is a map. This is just a sample of what the paid members got along, in video form. So this is essentially everything that I just told you with a complete route, complete descriptions here, all that stuff. $5 a month if you want something like that. Also, I play lots of MMORPGs, so if you wanted access to like dupe methods and in-game exploits that would ruin the economy if they went public on a mainstream YouTube channel such as mine, well, become a channel member. It helps me out greatly. It keeps this channel ad-free, sponsorship-free. I will never shill you products. I can't believe that other Elden Ring YouTubers shill products on their videos, like going to a website and paying someone to drop you items. Okay, for one, I just want to mention that if you paid like $20 for a Rivers of Blood, you're doing something stupid. After today's video, I make daily videos on this channel, guys. I'm going to teach you how to get all of this in your inventory. It is cheating, yes, it is cheating, but you don't have to go to some shady Chinese website and pay a guy $20 to drop you a plus 10 Rivers of Blood. I'm going to show you how in just a few minutes that you can edit your save file, because this game saves locally, and you can have as many Rivers of Blood as you want, okay? You can have as many runes as you want. You can have as many items as you want. Look at this. I have 99 of every rune, 99 of every boss rune. Okay, that's tomorrow's video, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. Go ahead and leave a like, leave some comments right now, pause the video, leave some comments, comment on other people's comments, tell me what you think, tell them what you think, and then let's get back into the video, alright guys? Next up, we are going to get the Golden Vowel buff. Now this is a damage and damage reduction buff that is amazing to have. That dagger we bought earlier, we're going to put this Ash of War on that dagger. Now, that's the video on how to do it. This is the abridged version, alright? So you can either start from the War Master's Shack, go north up here, and there's just a mounted knight right up here that you can kill, and he will drop Golden Vowel. If you need more information than this, check out that video. It shows a full walkthrough, no skips, all one cut on how to get it from the waypoint, which is over actually this way. It starts us out right here. It will show you how to travel across this bridge and find the enemy to kill for the drop. Now here's what your inventory should look like. You'll have Flail with Wild Strikes, you'll have a Dagger with Golden Vowel, you'll still have the Finger Seal, the Knight armor set, you'll have the Green Turtle Talisman, but you won't have the slot to equip it yet, but you will still have it, still with the Flasks and the Wolves, just to make sure that you're on track with me. Next up, what you're going to do is return back to Stormhill Shack, and you're going to travel north along this road under the bridge. When you get to this broken bridge here, don't go off the side in the water, but once you get to this broken bridge, there will be a hill that leads down here. You're going to curve around the side this way, along this path, and you're going to end up at the lake-facing cliffs grace site. Once you reach this grace site, you'll notice that we actually need to turn back around, point towards the northeast, so this way, and make sure you don't jump off the side, but you're going to angle your camera down, and you're looking for tombstones to jump off the side here to climb down. So what we're going to do now is we're going to climb down these tombstones. So what I recommend doing is lining up the horse and jumping down, because this gives you a secondary jump in case you mess up. Alright, if you just let the horse fall, you don't have that secondary jump. But it's pretty simple. Once you get down here, you're going to continue along this road, collecting the graces along the way, and continue along this road, go under this bridge, follow this bridge, which will safely point you into the water, and then you're going to continue along, grab a grace, continue west, grab this grace, and that's where I will cut the video to the next part and show you exactly those graces, where they are. With those grace sites collected, this is what it looks like. You got the Liurnia Highway South, Liurnia Highway North, then you went and got the Gate Town Bridge, the Academy Gate Town, and then finally the Fallen Ruins of the Lake. With those collected, we will now proceed right about here, and this is where you will get Blood Flame Blade, the incantation that will enchant your weapon with fire and blood. For full details on how to get a Blood Flame Blade, this video here, again, the link will be in the description, will tell you everything you need to know and show you how to get all of those grace sites in case you missed them. That's why it's 14 minutes long, 0 cuts. It shows you from the beginning to the end how to get there, and where exactly it is, and how to find the scarab, all down to the nitty-gritty detail. Next up, once you have that, you'll be about right here-ish, and you're going to proceed right up here, and there is another grace to get, maybe right about there. Then you're going to go north, and there's going to be a sleeping dragon right here. Behind the sleeping dragon, there's going to be some loot, okay? And one of them is the Academy key, which is right around in here. And you're just going to run in and then grab that key, and then you're going to run back, or you're going to warp back here to the Academy Town Gate, alright? And then you're going to go north, alright? And that is going to get you right about up here to get another grace site that you will use here in just a little while so that you can go ahead and start upgrading your equipment, alright? Now for more details on how to get that Glintstone Key, I have a video here that is the fastest way to unlock respecking in Elden Ring. The first part of this video will show you how to get that Academy Key, which is what you need in order to get into the Academy, and then the rest of the video is something we're going to do later on, so I will reference this video once again, links in the description, so go check it out. At this time, you're going to have to be doing some heavy combat soon in dungeoning, so I highly recommend these stats. I'm going to hide my watermark. 40 Vigor, 21 Mind, at least 20 Endurance, you could leave it at 12 if you want, 12 Strength, 18 Dexterity, 10 Intelligence, 15 Faith so that you can cast a Blood Flame Blade, and at least 12 Arcane, which is for something in a little while, alright? So make sure that you have these stats. As a Wretch, that puts you at level 69. You'll be slightly less than 69 if you are a Prophet, I believe. Alright? Next up, we are going to travel back to the Third Church of Marika. We're going to ride about here so we can get a Green Spill Crystal Tear for our Flask of Physic. Then we're going to ride down here and get a grace site, get a cookbook, and get the left Dectus medallion. By the way, the right Dectus medallion is over here in Fort Ferrith in a chest. So with both of those, that's how we will access the Great Lift, but there is more on that subject later. For reference, right here on the map, right where I'm looking, in this little bowl, is the Green Spill Crystal Tear, so just pick that up. Great for your flask, that's huge for your stamina. Also, my horse's leg is jiggling like crazy. Alright, so here we are at the Fort Height West grace site. So once you have that, we're going to proceed into this little fort here, which is to the east. So we're just going to ride up this hill. Whoa, let's not jump off the cliff now. And let's go up the hill properly. And we're going to go ahead and get a cookbook and also the left Dectus medallion, because I don't really have a dedicated video on these subjects. I'm just going to show you here. So if you want, you can just press right on your keyboard if you know how to do this, but it's pretty simple. Here's the fort. We're just jumping around the mobs, nothing too crazy. Now, later on in the game, this place becomes devoid of mobs. I don't know why that is or what triggers that. But the first thing we're going to do is get blown up by explosive barrels. We're going to run inside this little house here, and this guy has the cookbook, but I've already gotten it, apparently. So, now the next thing we're going to do is not ride up the stairs, we're going to run up the stairs, okay? And this is, if you don't have 40 Vigor, this may be a little bit more tough, but there's a simple way to do it, okay? You want to aggro, just go ahead and aggro this knight, get his attention so that he starts, charging at you, and run up this little tower here. You're going to crawl up the stairs. These are not stairs, this is a ladder. Climb the ladder. Wow, I can't speak today. And you'll see that the knight he's on our tail. We're going to ready our lone wolf ashes, because for whatever reason, we're allowed to summon them up here. So, for whatever reason, I'm not allowed to summon them. Maybe it got patched, or something's being buggy. Alright, so there's the Dectus medallion left. And, you know what? I never got the spirit bell for the video. You can just wild strike him down. He's pretty easy, and there you go, Ash of War, Bloody Slash. And with that completed, we can now teleport back, just to be on the safe side, alright? A few quick things I want to point out. If for whatever reason your game bugs and your Spirit Calling Bell disappears, you can do a repair on your install, and when you go to the round table, the vendor will have the Spirit Calling Bell right here for 100, so you'll need that to be able to summon your Spirit Ashes. Also, I forgot to mention, whenever you get a chance, go to Church of Ella and buy the crafting kit from the Merchant Kale. That way you can craft items. It's not necessary in this guide to ever craft, but it's always good for all players to have just in case they want to. Alright, now you're going to return back to the first step, which is the very start of the game. And we're going to go pick up just a few items that makes our lives a little bit easier by riding southwest. Alright, and we're going to look over the ledge to make sure it's safe to jump. Just riding southeast now. And you see these spirit spring jumps? Just do a double jump towards them, alright? You're going to see 2 of them right here. I don't know why there's 2, and the game will explain what a spirit spring jump is. On this corpse is a gold pickled foul foot. Go ahead and grab that because that's going to dramatically increase the runes that you gain from doing the dragon farm later on. Very important, but we're going to go pick up some more and the recipe to craft them later, but we won't be doing any crafting in this video. We're then going to go northwest under this little bridge thing, and there is a vendor here who sells some pretty good stuff. He sells us the short bow, so go ahead and buy a short bow, and then buy a ton of arrows. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I went ahead and bought 100. You don't really need 100, but it's good to have for all sorts of things, alright? From there, we're going to now go and travel right down here and get a grace that is actually, no, the grace is right about there. We're going to travel there and get that grace real quick. But you know what? Before we actually go down there and get that grace, because we're going to use that much later, go ahead and teleport to the Agheel Lake North here. And what you're going to do is you're going to travel along this route, and then you're going to jump down into the ravine, and there will be a cave right about here that has patches in it, which will allow you to buy more gold pickled foul feet and the Margit Shackle, which will make the first boss of the game super easy. Now, I have a video that goes into full detail of all of those steps. It's called Where to Get and How to Use the Margit Shackle in Elden Ring. Now, this thing has multiple uses for multiple bosses and for a few dungeon little traps or dungeon puzzles. So you absolutely want to go to that cave, beat patches up or kill them if you want, and get this item. It is absolutely essential to this guide, makes things incredibly easy. Alright, so once you've rode down this road and picked up the Agheel Lake South Grace, we're going to go off and do something else because we're going to come down to this part of the map a little bit later on in the guide for some equipment, but first we need other equipment to make this part of the map much easier. But before I go, I want to mention a special minion monster right here, and I'm going to show it off now. I don't recommend engaging this creature until you have upgraded weapons because he can be quite hard, but if you kill this lone soldier right up here on the ledge, this little guy with a sword right here, he's going to turn into a giant bear, and when you beat him, you will receive the larval tier, which allows you to respec. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and bash him in, and this, again, I don't recommend fighting this without upgraded weapons and some levels, okay? I have no upgrades on my flail right now, so this is actually a tough fight. You can see that I barely do any damage at all to this bear, and he's doing a grab attack, which is just giving me some nice bear hugs. Always nice to get hugged by a giant bear. But again, don't bother fighting this absolute monster until you have level 12 or better weapons. So come back later and fight the bear. Don't try to fight him right now. He's too hard. It's not worth the trouble. You don't even need to respec this early anyway. Alright, and from the Agheel Lake South, we're going to go all the way back up north to that grace site that we got earlier, which I forgot to get it, but you're going to start here at this grace site. I didn't get it yet for the video. And you're going to ride north, a little bit northeast, and you're going to go into this cave. This is the Crystal Cave. Now, I have 2 videos on this subject that's going to go into further detail. The first one is the Infinite Early Smithing Stones, Raya Lucaria Crystal Tunnel, Elden Ring Location Guide. This video just shows you how to get there, how to navigate to get to those grace sites that we talked about earlier. Give it a watch if you're having difficulty finding the cave. Finally, we have another video that explains how to navigate the cave itself. Once you're inside the cave, it's kind of a little dungeon, it's kind of a little maze. There is a boss fight at the end of this dungeon. Now, this video will show you everything there is to do, and this was a first draft iteration of this guide. So, in this video, I am way more underleveled. I don't have that dragon shield talisman that we currently have in this video, so I am very underpowered in this fight. But it's still extremely effortlessly easy. I literally hold one button down and walk towards the boss, and it dies, alright? So if I can do it underpowered, you can do it while overpowered. So again, links in the description, give that video a watch. Once you're done with that, that's going to give you up to level 6 weapons infinitely from the round table. Then you're going to travel this way. There's a spirit spring jump that will jump you up onto this ledge. There is a grace site around here, so go ahead and pick that up. Travel up this way. There's another grace site somewhere in this little forest area. You're going to continue traveling up until you get to the Great Lift. We have the left and right medallions, so that'll put you up here at the Great Lift. There's a grace down here. You're going to travel up here, and there is another grace. And from there, you're going to collect more items. By the way, if you happen to be browsing the comments section and you see someone comment how that you can get to the Atlas Plateau without needing the left and right Dectus, yes, you can. There's two ways. One of them involves killing the Magma Worm boss, which is an arduous task that takes forever to climb up to, and then you have to actually fight and kill the boss, which can be difficult for a new player. The other way is to go through the academy, do a warp through a Virgin Abductor that sends you into Volcano Manor, go through the entirety of Volcano Manor to the very bottom, in which case you'll fight 2 Virgin Abductor bosses, and then it spits you out like somewhere like over I think it's like over here. It just spits you out, right? And that is a pain in the butt. Both of those take way longer than the method that I showed you, so go ahead and use that method instead, or use my method instead, because it's more efficient and easier and lazier. Now, if you need a full rundown of how to access the Great Lift, or you might have missed a Dectus, or you might have skipped around in the guide, check out this video. This is a fully detailed video of all the steps you can do as a brand new character to access the Atlas Plateau the easiest and fastest way possible, alright? Links in the description, go check it out. Now it's time to get from +6 weapons to +12 weapons. Right here from the Atlas Plateau Grace, you're going to travel along this road through the bridge. You're going to go right in here. And this is going to take you to a little water area, go down into this cave, and inside this cave there is an invisible wall you can whack, and right behind the invisible wall, after a few turns, there is a chest to loot to give you the bell bearing to get +12 weapons infinitely from the round table. Now, if you need more details, this video shows you the full walkthrough of how to get the graces, how to get the bell bearing, where the secret wall is, all of it, right here in this video, links in the description. Go check it out if you need any more details than that. Now, once you turn in those bell bearings to the twin husks in the round table, you will be able to buy infinite smithing stones 1 through 4, giving you access to basically infinite weapon levels up to level 12. So let me show you what your character should be looking like real quick, alright? At this point, you want to go grind the dragon for a while, and use those gold pickled foul feet while you grind, cast Bloodflame Blade, go watch the dragon video I linked earlier on how to grind the dragon if you skipped around to this part of the video. But here's what your character should look like, okay? I'm level 107, you might be a little bit less leveled if you're a prophet, but you'll have 40 vigor, 21 mind, and I'm going to explain why you need this amount later. I just put points into endurance, you don't have to if you don't want to, not yet anyway. 34 strength, this is important for later. 20 dexterity, important for later. 20 intelligence, important for later. 19 faith, again, something we're going to use later. And that puts you at level 107. This'll take you just a little while to get to, okay? It's going to maybe take you an hour of grinding, but it's going to be absolutely worth it. And remember, a lot of people don't know this, but your base level increases your base physical damage negation. Let me show you what I mean real quick about that. When you go to stats, okay, you see where it says on the right, you have defense, and then you have damage negation, okay? When you raise your soul level, that physical number at 135 will go up as your rune level goes up, but it also goes up when you put points into strength. We have 34 strength for items that we need to equip later on that require that amount of strength, alright? So, with that said, this makes you even more tanky, though your damage negation percentage is calculated after your defense. I'm not going to talk too much about those kinds of numbers, but this will put you in a very powerful and good spot. Also, as far as spells go, you should have these on your bar. You should have Bloodflame Blade and Flame Grant Me Strength, okay? Those are the ones that you're going to use. And then for your equipment, you're going to have +12 Flail, +12 Dagger if you want, +12 Finger Seal if you want. You don't have to +12 your Finger Seal or Dagger. I just do it because why not? I have the runes. I might as well do it. I like everything to be +12 anyway. That's just how I am. Once all of that grinding is out of the way, there's some more items we're going to get. The next one is the Great Shield Talisman, which will dramatically reduce the stamina damage you take when you block attacks. It's located right about here, just north of the Atlas Plateau. It's right there. Now, instead of wasting your time showing you on video, I've already got a video made that explains exactly how to get there, what to look for. Go to this video. The Great Shield Talisman is top tier if you use a shield in Elden Ring. Links in the description. Go check it out. It's going to show you the full walkthrough of how to get there. Alright, now you're going to get one of the best weapons early on that's super dirty and it's just so good. It's called the Ant Spur. I'm not going to say the name because YouTube censors it, but the Ant Spur, it's a thrusting sword. It's basically the stinger of a giant ant. From that Great Shield Talisman, you're going to continue riding north all the way up here. Go ahead and grab a grace that's right there. Then you're going to loop around to this little area, and there's just a person with a red name that you kill, and they drop the Ant Spur thrusting sword. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you again a video right here. Check this video out, links in the description. This is one of my more popular videos on Elden Ring for some reason, because this sword is just that good. It's so dirty. It afflicts rot, you can attack while blocking, it deals insane amounts of damage, and it barely takes any stamina to swing. So it's just the perfect weapon early on. It's going to make your character absolutely busted. Go pick it up, go check out that video if you need further clarification. Now, it's time to grab your Great Shield. Unfortunately, I don't have a video to reference on this one, but from the grace that's like right here, you're going to ride, well, not in a zigzag line, you're going to ride up here this way, up this road, okay? You're going to go east, up this little road, and loop around right here, and there is a vendor that's right here. The vendor will sell you the Distinguished Great Shield. They also have perfumer's bottles, and a Sentry's Torch, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to cover the Sentry's Torch in this video, but it's something you definitely want to buy for both PvP and for a specific talisman to make it super easy later. I might cover it in a video one day on this channel, but you definitely want to go right in here and get the Distinguished Great Shield, upgrade it to level 12 immediately at the round table. It is definitely worth it. Alright, now let's do a quick gear check, and here's what you should have on your character. You should have a dagger plus 12 with golden Vowel with standard, okay? Then you have your Ant Spur thrusting sword with Flame of the Red Manes with standard. Don't put fire on it, okay? Then you have your flail with Wild Strikes standard, and your Distinguished Great Shield, all of these plus 12. Now, the shield starts with no skill. Make sure that you don't put a skill on it. Just leave it at leave it as is. Just make sure it's plus 12. Alright? Now, if you like the blocking and stabbing playstyle, you should use the Green Turtle Talisman and combine it with the the Great Shield Talisman, which is this one right here that you picked up earlier. Use these two, which you won't have the second talisman unlocked yet. So, but this is what you'll use when you use your blocking setup. Otherwise, if you aren't using the shield to block, you will use the Dragon Shield Talisman instead, which is what we picked up at the start of the game for that damage reduction. So check out the damage reduction. I have 24% physical damage reduction. When I put on the Dragon Crest Shield Talisman, it is then going to be pushed up to 32. So it depends on what you like in the early game, but this is, again, what we're using. Also, it's not in the guide, but hopefully you're picking up golden seeds as you see them on the ground, and sacred, the flask thingies to improve the power of your flask. I'm not including that in the guide because they're kind of all over the place, and it's something that most players are just going to, they see a shiny on the ground, they're gonna pick it up, okay? With that said, there are a few more graces to pick up. From this grace site, you'll ride down. There's a Spirit Spring jump right about here. You'll jump up 2 of them, loop around to this bridge, cross the bridge, and then go along this way. There's going to be a grace somewhere around here. Continue along, and then you're going to go kind of up into here. There's a grace in a cave, and then there's a grace after you cross this bridge before another Spirit Spring jump, and then there's a boss here, which you will defeat this boss later. I'm going to talk more about that in a bit, but go ahead and grab those graces for now. Alright, and then also, while you're in this zone, and you've already grabbed the graces along this way, which I don't have on my map because I actually haven't grabbed them yet, but once you've, went up here and got the vendor, you're going to go up here, along this road, and then there's a grace up here near this top village. You're also going to go, at some point, this way, down in here, go right up in here, and there's a grace to grab for later because we need it to get closer to a boss. So just go ahead and run around and grab all those graces. Now it's time to slay some dragons so we can get Rotten Breath, which makes the game incredibly super easy. You're going to go to the first step, and then you're going to ride east, northeast, about right here. There will be the Dragon Ag heal. You'll kill him by using Flame of the Red Manes on your Ant Spur thrusting sword. 2 to 3 times in the face. He will be staggered, and then you will execute him a few times. This will drop his dragon heart. From there, you're going to travel down into here, right here, to this grace that you got earlier, and you will then turn in that dragon heart for Rotten Breath. If you need more elaboration, then this video is for you, okay? This is the 3 easy ways to get dragon hearts early for Rotten Breath and Elden Ring. This video actually goes over details how to kill other dragons, which are more difficult, but you can choose whichever dragon that you want to get. All you need is 1 dragon heart. This video will also explain exactly what you need to kill these dragons with and how to get Rotten Breath and how to use Rotten Breath. So go check it out. With that complete, you're going to then go to Castle Ward Tunnel. You'll have Rotten Breath on you, and you'll fight Margit. You have the Margit Shackle, you have all these plus 12 weapons, you're over level 100. Margit will be incredibly easy. If you need any elaboration on how to beat Margit, guess what? I've got a video just for you called How to Effortlessly Beat Margit in Elden Ring. Link in the description, go check it out. This shows even if you are underleveled and undergeared and didn't follow this guide, still how to beat Margit the legit, like pro gamer way, I guess. Alright, now that you're pretty darn powerful, remember that bear that I told you to avoid earlier? Well, why don't we go beat him up, I actually didn't buff in the correct order. You want to... I also didn't cast the right spell there. You want to cast Golden Vowel before you cast your weapon enchant. Okay, so there we go. We got our Blood Flame Blade. Everything's ready to go. Let's just beat him up. Look how much more damage we're going to do to this bear. And he doesn't hurt us nearly as much. We also have a shield, so we can block. And again, this shield reduces all of your physical damage to 0, assuming you're actually holding block. But we can Wild Strike some down. You can also use your Ant Spur. I'm going to go ahead and show that now, because I can block while stabbing. He's going to give me the old bear hug. I think he missed. And again, this makes the fight super, super easy. Alright, and you can, again, with the Ant Spur, you can block while you stab. So you can hold block and you can attack, and the enemies can't hit you back. Now ignore that message, it says I have too many larval tears. Obviously I'm using a cheat save, but anyway, that's just the power scaling difference of how much easier things are. Now from here, Achill Lake South, we're going to cross this bridge. There's a grace to get right as you cross the bridge. We're going to go further down. There is another grace site to get. We're going to go down here and get Poison Mist from a Scarab, and you're going to use a bow to get it. I'm going to show you that in just a sec. Now once you reach that Scarab, go ahead and equip a short bow and some arrows, because if you try to melee this Scarab, it teleports away. You can technically hit it with the Ant Spur if you're quick enough, but it's a real pain in the butt. Just lock onto it and shoot an arrow at it, and that's all you need to do. That's going to give you Poison Mist, which is how we're going to absolutely just wreck a few bosses later on in the guide. So go ahead, make sure you get this, because you'll need it for later. Also, just again, a reminder, if you become a channel member, $5 a month, that join button is right down below. You'll get access to this video, which gives you basically MS Paint images. You can see here in the thumbnail selection basically what the video entails. It's everything covered in this video, just in a much faster way, with a visual of the maps of where to go. $5 a month, I think it's worth it. It's like being a Twitch subscriber. It really helps me out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Now it's time to get one of the best early game summons in the entire game. It does the most DPS, it has the most survivability, it is extremely tanky, it has an auto death enchant on its weapon, it's highly elusive, it teleports, it's very aggressive, it has a ranged attack, and that is Lahoodle the Headless. And here is a video that talks about Lahoodle the Headless. Go check that out. Also, if you want a link to that members only video, then there is a link in the pinned comment down in the comments. Go check that out too. And maybe there might be some other videos for Lost Ark or, Albion or something that you like that you might find worth $5 a month for. I don't know. But essentially, to get Lahoodle the Headless, what you're going to do is, from the Castle Moor Rampart, you're going to walk up this path, grab the grace that's around here, continue forward, and then you'll find a cave that's right about here. Inside the cave, that video gives all the details how to navigate the cave and how to beat the boss. Now, to beat the boss, you will be using the Ant Spurs along with the shield, because the boss is just pure DPS. Without the Great Shield and without Ant Spurs, you will get just turned into mush like a blender, okay? So you can't really do the boss without those items. I mean, you maybe can if you're really good at the game, or you're just a DPS beast, but it makes it easy for new players. Next up, it's time to complete the first part of your Flask of Physic by getting the secondary piece of your stamina boost which you're going to take the grace that's right here. You're going to walk up this cliff, and you're going to stand on the cliff, and below the cliff there is a monster. You're going to throw explosive rocks at the monster, killing it. Now, this is a Putrid Avatar. You're going to see people in the comments saying, oh, well, I could beat this Hereditary Avatar super easy as melee. Except this is a Putrid Avatar. Half its attacks will kill you in one hit. Okay, it's an extreme pain in the butt to fight, and only the more skilled players can beat it without sweating or getting anxious or having just trouble with it. But this video goes over all the details. Choose this impossible boss to get the most OP early game crystal tier in Elden Ring. Link in the description. Go check it out for the full details of what this boss is and how to beat him. And you're definitely going to want that because it really strengthens that Flask of Physic. Next up, it's time to either grind the dragon if you haven't done that already and get to level 107 with all the stats I showed earlier, or if you want a little bit more difficulty, you don't have to. You can go defeat Godric the Grafted now. So you're going to start at the Castle Ward Tunnel. After you beat Margit, you'll have access to the gate. You're going to take the main gate, run through, take a right every time. There's an NPC to talk to in one of these side buildings, and you're going to want to use to summon her to get to the Godric fight. Now, I have full details of all of this because I don't want to make this video too long. Alright, and that video is this one. Simple methods to beat Godric the Grafted in Elden Ring. This also goes over how to summon the NPC that you can get and all of the tricks to beat Godric in the super easiest way possible. Alright, so go check out that video. Once you beat Godric, you're going to have your first Great Rune, which is awesome. Now, what you're going to do from there is you're going to now go to a warp. You're going to go take the Liurnia Highway north, and just about right here, there is a warp gate which will take you to the Crystal Academy, which you got the key for earlier, which is this entire dungeon section right up here. Now, this is a pretty lengthy dungeon area, and it would take an entire video to go over that, which is exactly what I did with the fastest way to unlock respeccing in Elden Ring. Now, you've already seen the first part of this video on how to get the Academy key. So, with that said, you can now skip to the part of the video that shows how to navigate through the entire Academy dungeon and how to beat two of the bosses. There is a fox, whose name I believe is the Red Wolf of Radagon, and then there's the main boss, which is Renala, which is a spellcaster. The video goes over all the best ways to beat these two bosses in the most efficient, fastest, and laziest, easiest way possible. Next up, you're going to take the grace that you got that's right about here, and you're going to ride it to this area because you're going to fight the Draconic Tree Sentinel. Now, the Draconic Tree Sentinel is a very difficult boss. However, it's really easy to beat with Rotten Breath and Poison Mist. And I have a full video that explains exactly how to beat them right here called How to AFK and Cheese the Draconic Tree Sentinel in Elden Ring. You can just use Poison Gas and never engage the boss, or you can kill him in a much quicker way with Poison Gas and Rotten Breath. Go check out the video where I explain fully how it works, and it is definitely worth checking out because it makes the Draconic Tree Sentinel super easy. Now, the reason you want to beat Renala and Godric and the Draconic Tree Sentinel is because it gives you access to the Royal Capital, which is this area right in here. Definitely something that has some amazing items. This is considered mid-game, okay? But you're going to be able to get here in your first few hours of playing this game. Maybe your first 3, maybe your first 4, depending on how focused you are and how lucky you are with not dying to things. But essentially, you're going to be in mid-game extremely early on your very first playthrough, on your first sit-down with this game, right? And you're going to be able to beat this entire area and get to the end game, which is the snowy area. And this snowy area leads down here to this area, which is the end of the game. Anyway, once you've gotten access into the capital, you're not going to go in there just yet, because you're going to go and you're going to get the ultimate weapon in the game. And the ultimate weapon is the boss that's located right here, which you got the grace for just a bit earlier. And that is the Falling Star, the fully grown Falling Star Beast, okay? I have a full video that shows you exactly how to beat him, and you're going to beat him the same exact way you beat the Draconic Tree Sentinel. But go ahead and check out this video, link in the description. This is the best weapon in the game because it does the highest poise damage per second. It has a spell, a spammable spell, that does insane amounts of damage from an extremely long range that tracks everything except the fastest flying enemies that are like, you know, zooming across the map really fast. No weapon is stronger than this. Just for its regular melee damage, it's the second highest scaled weapon in the entire game, which means there is only one other weapon that hits harder than it, and it only hits harder by 40 damage when you have maximum stats, okay? And it is just insane. Go check out the video if you don't believe me. It is by far the best weapon in the whole game, and you're going to be able to get it before you even like do anything in this game, before you do a single quest. It just makes you so overpowered, and it's kind of the bread and butter of the entire guide. Once you've beaten the Falling Star Beast and gotten his weapon, you're going to go back to the capital, and you're going to navigate through it, and you're going to get the spell Fire's Deadly Sin, which currently in the game, it might be patched one day. It catches yourself on fire, and if you have a weapon enchant, it will consistently deal that weapon's enchant to enemies around you. So with Bloodflame Blade, you will be constantly applying bleed damage to everything around you very, very rapidly. This video right here, the fastest way to unlock Fire's Deadly Sin in Elden Ring, goes over all the steps. It shows you how to completely navigate the entirety of the capital with all the nice jump skips that anyone could do. They're super easy. This is the fastest way to navigate through the capital, get all the graces, and get the spell. I highly recommend this video more than any of the other ones I've shown you so far. It is by far the most time-saving one out of all of them. Now that you have the mid-game unlocked and you're ready to beat the harder bosses, you've got your ultimate weapon, it's time to get Somber Smithing Stones 1 through 9. Now, I have a video for you that shows how to get all of them in under 15 minutes, and I know it's 17 minutes, but 2 minutes are explaining the other videos that you have to do, which you've already done if you followed this guide so far. Go check out this video. Now, I'm going to explain to you, just a quick way on how to do that. So, to get Somber Stones 1 through 4, you're going to start at the Academy Gate Town. You're going to go right here in this little area. That's going to warp you right up here. You're going to grab some graces, and hold on just a second. Alright, that knocking noise was actually from the video, so don't go check your doors. Anyway, so you're going to go, it's like right up here, there's a couple graces to grab, and you're going to be at a vendor. That vendor will sell you Somber Smithing Stones 1 through 4. Now, Somber Smithing Stone 5, you'll take this grace, loop around the side of the building, hop back on the wall, and it's on a body right about there. Somber Stone 6 you actually got from killing the Falling Star Beast. But just in case, there is a grace right up here, and if you go just southeast, there's a guy in a chair with a wolf. That's Somber Stone 6. Somber Stone 7 is insanely difficult and super annoying, and it's in the capital, deep under the sewers. You're going to have to go check that video for the full explanation, because it's not something I can just tell you how to get by looking at a map, okay? Now, Somber Stones 8 and 9, super easy. Somber Stones 8 and 9, you are going to go here, which I don't think I mentioned, but you should grab a grace that's here and a grace that's over here. This is a vendor for serpent arrows, which are poison arrows. But Somber Stone 8, there is just a little scarab on a tree branch, like right about here. And that will get you Somber Stone 8. At the base of this tower, instead of jumping down the tree branch like all the other YouTubers say, just right around the side and go down the ramp. And at the bottom of the ramp, there's a bunch of people in chairs, all in a circle, and the guy that's dead in the middle has Somber Stone 9. Go check out that video for further clarification. Alright, it's gear and spell check time. This is what your stats should look like. Level 111 as a wretch. Okay, you definitely need 21 mind to be able to summon Lahoodle the Headless, by the way. 40 Vigor is super, super good for survivability. You don't have to have this, but I really recommend it. You will need 24 Endurance for the armor set we're about to go pick up, as well as to use the current gear set without being overloaded. Alright, 34 Strength to use our weapon, 20 Dex for our weapons and shield, also 34 Strength of shield, 20 Intelligence for the weapon, 19 Faith for Fire's Deadly Sin, 12 Arcane for Rotten Breath, alright? Again, this is some grinding at the dragon. It does not take that long, okay? You can have, if you speedrun this, you can have it all in 3 to 4 hours, okay? But if you play it casually, 5 to 6, 7 if you're super distracted or very, very, very bad at the game, okay? I'm telling you, you can do it all in one setting on your day off or, on a weekend or whatever, right? Now, as far as the items, you're going to want the Falling Star Beast Jaw, which you'll have at +9. This is your main weapon. This is what you're going to use to kill everything at this point on. This is what you're going to use to execute mobs. You might sometimes use the flail for something, but essentially you're going to use the dagger for that golden Vowel. You have your finger seal for your spell buffs, like Flame Grant Me Strength, and, your weapon buffs, Rotten Breath, all that, and your Distinguished Great Shield +12. Right now, you're still rocking the Knight set, okay? Now, from killing those bosses, you're going to have 3 talisman slots. You have the Great Shield Talisman, you have the Green Turtle Talisman, and the Dragon Crest Shield Talisman, alright? But we're going to get one more, and you unlock this 4th slot as soon as you open up the snowy area of the game, which is what you're going to use at the capital, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And of course, Lahoodle the Headless. You're also going to have way more Flask charges at a higher level than what I'm showing. I just haven't turned mine in yet. Okay, and then as for spells, I'm currently rocking Flame Grant Me Strength, Rotten Breath, and Blood Flame Blade at this point. Now, the next step of the guide, we're going to round out our defenses. That means we're going to get our main armor set, our final talisman we're going to use for the early mid-game, which is all this guide really covers, and we're going to have all of it combined to make our character ultra tanky, super damaging, and nearly unkillable, alright? So, check out the video, how to take 3 times less damage in Elden Ring, and what this is going to cover. Alright, it's already covered how to get that Dragon Shield Talisman, but it's going to explain to you how to go about right here, talk to Raya about her stolen necklace, talk to the Crab Man right here, get, her necklace back, buy some prawn, and so on and so forth. That's going to give you access to Boiled Crab, a 35% damage reduction. From there, you're going to travel about right through here, and that's going to get you another larval tier. That's going to get you the, another medallion, which will get you invaded at the round table. You're going to kill the invader. I'm going to go ahead and show you the invader right now, what he looks like. Or maybe it's a she. Wrong way. Sorry, guys. But the invader is actually this character that leans against the wall. This person right here, okay, with their little armor set on, they're just leaning against the wall, looking at us all mean. But we're going to get this entire armor set from this character, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on right now for you and show you exactly why you want that plus 24. Alright, I'm actually going to pause the vid here. Now, what this Royal Remains set does is each piece will give you 2 life regeneration per second, and it all stacks when you are below 18% maximum life. Alright, so this is going to combine with a talisman you're going to grab, and what you're going to do is you're going to go, again, reference that video for all of this information. You're going to go to the War Master's Shack at nighttime, and then you're going to travel right there, or right there, I forget exactly. It's one of those 2 little spots, okay? And you're going to fight a Deathbird. With your +9 Jawbone, you're going to kill it in like 4 hits from the sky, because you can attack flying creatures with this weapon's ability. And it's going to drop the Talisman, which is, the name eludes me, but I'm going to show you right now. And that Talisman is the Blue Feathered Branch Sword, which raises defense when HP is low. If you check out that video, your defenses will go from 31 to over 65 when you are below 20% HP. Now, that armor will keep you alive when you are... It keeps you up to 18% of your life. And when you pump Vigor, you will have a huge technical low life health pool, which will give you massive amounts of effective HP, making you insanely tanky. So at this point, it's time to finalize your leveling up. Now, let's say you wanted to do PvP and invasions, okay? So this build also is my favorite of all the PvP builds. Now, there is a YouTuber meta of being level 120 or 125. So at level 120, this is what my stats look like. 49 Vigor, 21 Mind, 24 Endurance, 34 Strength, 20 Dex, 20 Int, 19 Faith, 12 Arcane. Let's leave that there. And this gives you 1,680 HP. When you're below 20% life, you have 300 something, I forget, but essentially that is another 1,200 effective HP. This build is absolutely insane, but let me also show you why we have that 24 Endurance. Okay, if you look at my equip load, it's 70.3 right now with all of this stuff on. Okay, and my maximum equip load is 70.4. Now, this does mean that you fat roll. I understand that people are they don't like the fat rolling, but this is a block and spell spam build, okay? So, now, let's also finalize our Flask of Wondrous Physic. Because we have the Jawbone, there is one more thing to kill, and this one is actually rather difficult. There is a Putrid Avatar that's located right here. I don't have a video to reference for this. You can reference the live stream that I did, that I linked earlier, where I do spend a little bit of time struggling to kill him, but eventually I just nuke him down with gravity spam. Okay, so you go here, you kill him, and that's going to give you the Flask. So I'm going to show you I didn't want to talk to D. I'm going to show you now how to set up your Flask of Wondrous Physic. Okay, so there's two ways. The first one is you're going to use Green Spell Crystal Tier and Green Burst Crystal Tier. This is mostly for progressing through the main story, fighting all the main story monsters, okay? This will give you a massive amount of stamina regeneration and a boost to stamina. Otherwise, for magical encounters, you're going to use the Opaline Hard Tier, which you get from that Putrid Avatar I just talked about, combined with the Green Burst Crystal Tier, which is your stamina recovery speed. That's the one that you want. However, in other circumstances against bosses that mix magic damage, like, Godfrey uses chip damage on you, or Morgott, they also do chip damage with magic spells. You definitely want that Opaline Hard Tier, but you also want this one, which is the, the Stone Barb Cracked Tier. And what this does is it makes attacks more likely to break enemy stances, okay? And so what this does is your Gravity Well has a 33 poise damage cast, but when you drink that Physic, it's over 40. And this absolutely turns the it's already the fastest poise break in the entire game. And if you haven't watched any of my other videos on this subject yet, I'm just going to show you what the spell looks like real quick. I don't have a target dummy to show you, but I'm just going to cast it out in the wilds for you. There's no way to speed up the casting, but this is the spell. Okay, it's kind of like shooting a lightning bolt, but it's also a large rock explosion. This thing hits monsters in the sky. 2 to 3 casts will stagger everything in the game, and then you run up and execute it with your +9 weapon. And you rinse and repeat. And then you chug some Cerulean Tears and get your mana back, which you'll definitely, recover more mana than I did there. But essentially, that's all you do, and then you block the boss in between its attacks, and whenever its attacks run out, you just hit it with more gravity bolts, and then you execute it. And that's how you'll defeat most enemies, most main story enemies in the game. There are optional bosses where you won't be able to employ the strategy, but even then, your gravity bolt deals such an insane amount of high damage very quickly, and you can spam this while they're staggered, and they will eat the damage during their recovery as well, that you can kill most optional bosses before they can even act. Alright, in combination with all of your defensives, your armor that heals yourself. Now, I didn't also mention that Fire's Deadly Sin, we wouldn't got that earlier. One of the reasons that we wouldn't got Fire's Deadly Sin, which I explained in that video if you would have clicked it, I don't know if you did or not, but essentially you combine Fire's Deadly Sin, and in this case we're going to use the Ant Spurs, which it's kind of annoying to scroll through all these weapons, but you put on the Ant Spurs, which, did I scroll past the Ant Spurs? I don't think so. And what that's going to do, okay, so in this regard, you're going to cast your Bloodflame Blade, and then you're going to cast Fire's Deadly Sin. Then you're going to hold your Great Shield next to whatever you want to bleed out. And because you're on fire and your weapon is on fire, this fire aura will deal AoE damage to everything around you and bleed them at the same time, okay? But also, because you're wearing this armor, if for any reason your HP gets really low, you will out-heal the fire damage, which means you will never die to this, okay? See how they just kind of exploded in a blood fountain? I'm not even attacking, I'm just standing near them and they just, they take a bleed proc. This, the bleed is a percentage damage, which means you can stand next to really bleedable bosses and while defending, bleed them out in 5 bleed ticks. Okay, 5 bleed ticks is all it takes, okay? But at the same time, you're giving them rot, you're giving them more bleed from your stabs, if you want. Okay, you drink your Flask of Physic, and you just have so much other options there. And again, if the enemy is not bleedable, then that's what the Jawbone's for, if you prefer that playstyle where you just kill everything super fast. Some enemies in the game, they're not bleedable, so you just cast this at them over and over and over, and you just beat them super easy. You have one of the best AI summons in the game. You have some of the best synergizing armor that synergizes with all your talismans, all available at the start of the game. You have +12 normal weapons. You have a +9, which is equivalent to +22 normal weapons at the start of the game. Okay, all in the first 5 to 6 hours of play. Now, you are fat rolling, so that's kind of a downside. But if you want, if you don't care about the YouTube PvP meta of level 120, feel free to level up to 150, and you could pump it into Endurance if you want to block more. You can pump it into Vigor. I don't recommend going past 60 Vigor, though. That's level 131. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then endurance, we're going to go ahead and make that level 150. And if you don't care about the level meta, pump up whatever the hell you want even more, okay? So at level 150, that's another YouTube meta. Alright, am I still fat rolling? Am I still a fat roller? Yes, I'm still a fat roller, but hey, that's fine, right? We do have more health this way. Again, this makes the game insanely easy. You may be thinking, but level 150 is so hard to get. No, it's not. You go and you grind the dragon. And it doesn't take that long at all. You can do all of your grinding and have all of your levels in maybe 2 hours tops. You know, the longest. It doesn't even take 2 hours, okay? It's simple, it's easy. Playing this build breaks the game. It might make the game unchallenging for you. It might make the game unfun. It makes the game incredibly easy, stress-free. I recommend it for everyone. Go check out that live stream I linked earlier if you don't believe me. This build, anyone can do it from the very start of the game. Now, this guide took 15 hours a day for 30 days straight of testing every single weapon available in the starter zone in zones that you can access on a brand new character without any kind of crazy boss kills, without having to do long, annoying quest change of looking up things on the wiki. Things that any character at level 1 could ride out to and go get, or get a few simple tools to be able to defeat. Like, we get Flame of the Red Mane so we can kill a dragon, so we can get Rotten Breath so we can kill the Falling Star Beast Jaw very quickly and efficiently, right? But you even don't have to use the Falling Star Beast Jaw. You don't have to use Rotten Breath to kill him. You can just use Poison Mist to kill him, but it does take longer. I'm saving you time. I'm making things easy for you. Again, the lakes area, that's absolutely early game. A lot of new players, they can't even get to Atlas Plateau. They don't get here until like their first week of playing, okay? I played this game for about a day straight. No internet, no guides, no wiki, no nothing, and I got nowhere. I was running around with an unupgraded dagger doing crappy damage to really hard enemies underground. I had found my way underground into a high-level zone, and I was just not able to do anything, right? This guide is aimed to make the game super easy. You can have full access to the Atlas Plateau, and unlike other YouTube guides where they say, well, just go get the best weapon in the game, go get Rivers of Blood, hey, it's like right here, dude. Yeah, you have to kill a whole myriad of bosses to even get here. You can't even go to this snow zone until you go to the capital and you beat Godfrey, okay? And you're not going to beat Godfrey and Morgott and all of those other bosses that easily early on as a brand new character in your first 4 hours, unless you're a speedrunner or unless you do something crazy. Okay, and also this guide has compared every spell available at the start of the game, every weapon, every armor available at the start of the game, every rune farming method available at the start that does not require multiplayer. A lot of players, they like to go here to the Blood Church, and they do 3 PvP invades, and they can go underground and farm runes. Well, 10 years from now, the multiplayer servers are going to be gone. What if you don't have internet? You can't do the PvP invades to go do that rune farm. That's why I'm telling people to come here and do the dragon. The dragon does not require a multiplayer connection or invading other players, okay? But also, some people may say, well, you can go to Volcano Manor and do the PvE invades, but the problem with Volcano Manor is it progresses the game's quest. So if you go to Volcano Manor early on, this changes the quest dynamics, which means you can't come here to get the boiled crab. You can't do a lot of the early game spell quests. This guide sets you up completely to have access to the entire map very early on without pushing the game's quest narrative. Now, the only thing that it does line up is it does allow you to go do the Radagon's festival and fight Radan early on if you want, but it does not progress any other quest lines, and this is something that you kind of want to do early on anyway, because this gives you access to go later on to get the Mimic tier summon, which is technically the best summon in the game whenever you become the best character and high leveled in the game. But early on, the Mimic tier is not really accessible because killing Radon early on is kind of cheesy and has been constantly patched. That's why it's not in the guide. This guide, again, took 30 days, 15 hours a day to make. There is no better route, there is no better weapons, no better equipment, no better synergies for a brand new player. And I know this might piss off people that are elitist in the Elden Ring community because they want this game to be hard. They want this game to be, well, you better take off all your armor and you better dodge roll and dodge roll and dodge roll and hope the enemy, doesn't catch you in a mid-roll and kill you. where you have to reset for hours and hours and hours. Screw that. I don't play games for that. I just want to smooth brain it. I just want to like watch anime and kill bosses while looking at my other monitor. I don't want to have to pay attention to the game. But at the same time, this build is super duper so cheesy at PvP. There are so many people that are mad on my profile how I invade their game and I do this to them, and they try to dodge roll it and they die. And if they get close, well, I can block their attacks, or I can hit them with this and they die, because this does more damage than their whole kit, okay? And, you know, this weapon is just so good at just killing players. It is absolutely a beast, and you know, you can just catch yourself on fire and then run at people while blocking, and they're gonna bleed out. That's another cheesy way to beat other players. So, I'm SwoleBenji, thanks for watching. As always, be a bro and stay swole. Alright, this guy took a very long time to make, and I hope you enjoyed it. I make videos every day on this channel, so come on back tomorrow. I'm gonna make a video now, how to cheat, and get everything at the start of the game in just a few minutes. For those that don't care about playing legitly, and again, this does not ban you on multiplayer. This does not ban you from the multiplayer servers. You can start a level 1 character, level it up to like 20, and have like a spell sniper, okay? You can play with some of the really most broken, overpowered weapons in the game at the very start of the game by cheating. I'm gonna show you how to do it, okay? I know Redditors don't like cheats, but whatever, man. Screw Reddit. If you like Reddit, get the heck out of here. Now, please leave a like, a subscribe. Make sure you come back tomorrow. Videos every single day, sometimes 2 videos a day if I'm feeling up to it, okay? I also stream here on YouTube, and if you are financially independent, if this video helped you out or someone you know and you have some spare cash, you know, go ahead and become a channel member. It's $5 a month. The button is right below this video. You get private personal videos. You also get videos earlier than other people. So guys, just check it out. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Make sure you leave a comment and you comment on someone else's comment. I will see you next time.